I didn't give my nephew any inheritance and my sister is furious about it. So I 40 male am a widower. My wife Jane passed away last year after a long battle with terminal illness. We'd been together since we were teenagers and married for almost 16 years at the time of her death. So it's obviously been a massive and difficult adjustment for me, and I'm really just now starting to get properly accustomed to my new normal. Jane was unique and brilliant in more ways than I could ever possibly say, but relevant here is that she was deeply passionate about vintage fashion. In particular, she had a huge fancy for vintage designer dresses and garnered quite the collection in her time. I don't really know much about fashion myself, but there are some very pretty pieces in her collection, and I know that some of them are worth quite a lot of money. She was also very much of the opinion that fashion is art and that art is meant to be seen and enjoyed, not hidden away to gather dust in the dark somewhere. Because of that belief, she made it very clear while she was sick that she didn't want any of her dresses to just sit and rot in our wardrobe after she was gone, and that she wanted me to pass them on to somebody who would be able to enjoy them as she had. My sister Anna, 47 female, has 2 children, Luke 23 male and Rachel 19 female. To put it bluntly, Luke is a freaking spoiled brat, even as an adult. He does not work through choice, mind you, not a lack of ability, but believes that he is above claiming benefits. So Anna and her husband continue to bankroll him for everything. He still lives at their house without contributing financially or to any of the housework. They provide all of his food and pay for his car and mobile phone, as well as funding his weekly nights out clubbing with his friends. He left school at 16 and has shown no desire or motivation to further his education, pick up a trade, or learn any kind of hobby that isn't playing on the PlayStation. Any suggestion that he does try and get out and do something with his life results in tantrums from him and further coddling from his parents. This kind of lifestyle has seemingly never even been an option for Rachel, however. She has always been very independent and has had part-time weekend jobs since she was 14 years old. She's been sensible with her money, too, as she always said she knew she'd need savings for when she grew up and moved out. Jane and I actually paid for Rachel's driving lessons and helped her buy her first car, as Anna and her husband claimed they couldn't afford to do either. So, the issue at hand. Rachel left school in the summer and started university this September. When she left school, she had a prom, leavers ball, and, remembering what my Jane had said about wanting her dresses to be passed on to somebody who would enjoy them, I told Rachel that if she wanted to, she could pick out one of these dresses to wear her outfit for the prom. She took me up on the offer, and I told her that afterwards the dress was hers to keep and do whatever she wanted with, as I believe that's what Jane would have wanted. So Rachel wears and keeps the dress, everything is fine. She moved off to university in September, and mid-November she had a bit of an issue with financing and loans and stuff. As she's unsure when the problem will be resolved, she decided to sell the dress I gave her to tide her over. She went to a vintage fashion collector with it, and it ended up being worth much more than we had both assumed, and she got just under £2,000 for it. She offered to split the money with me, but I insisted she keep it all to keep her right and that she should consider it a gift from her Auntie Jane. Evidently, Anna caught wind of this and called me telling me that she and Luke would be over the next weekend so he could collect his inheritance too. I asked what she was talking about, and she said that I had given Rachel inheritance from Jane's passing, and that Luke wanted to get what he was also entitled to. I pointed out that I didn't give Rachel any money, I just gave her an outfit which she then sold, and Anna said exactly, so you should give Luke one to sell as well, so that it's fair. I told her in no uncertain terms that I would not be doing that, and that Luke isn't entitled to anything. I may also have pointed out that, from Rachel's side of things, their entire upbringing was unfair, and that Luke has routinely been given things that Rachel hasn't, so he can just deal with it being the other way around for once. Anna's been furious with me ever since, and is determined to make this as big a thing as possible. She has been telling anybody she can that I am withholding Luke's inheritance because I don't like him and that I am blatantly playing favorites. It's usually fine if I explain what actually happened to people, but Anna is really trying to turn this into a massive smear campaign against me. It's starting to get a bit stressful, though I know the best course of action is to let it all just fizzle out. I suppose I just wanted to vent at strangers a bit here about the whole thing, so thank you very much for letting me do that, lol. Story 2. I overheard my wife saying she's only with me because of my daughter. I, 40 male, have been married to my second wife, Kate, 37 female, for 2 years. I have a daughter, Rose, 12 female, with my late wife Eve, who passed away 4 years ago. Kate and Eve went to the same college and have been good friends since then. Kate was set to be a bridesmaid at my wedding but had to drop out because she had a miscarriage. Eve and I were also there for her when her fiancé passed a year later. Kate has been in Rose's life from the beginning. She organized her baby shower and attended all birthday parties. She babysat Rose at least once a month and gave Rose gifts every Christmas. The family basically considers her another aunt for Rose. Eve and I also met the 3 boyfriends she had, though they all broke up within a year. When Eve passed in an accident, Kate flew from another continent to console Rose and me and then flew back at her own expense to continue her work. Once she got back, she told Rose and me she was there for us 24/7 and to call her for anything. She dropped food for us, helped Rose with her extracurricular activities, and talked with me late into the nights when I was grieving. Kate is an attractive woman. A little over a year after Eve's passing, Kate asked me out. We already knew each other well, so there was no awkwardness. Our first time happened drunk, but the times after were greatly enjoyable. Kate was so fun and warm and loving, and Rose was so happy we were together. When Kate said yes to my proposal, I thought my life was perfect. The wedding was beautiful with Rose as the ring bearer, she insisted. We didn't go on a honeymoon as Kate said it was better to save the money and take a family vacation overseas with Rose. Kate paid for Rose to take classes of extracurricular activities that Rose was interested in from her own pocket as well. She was the perfect mother for Rose, but as a wife, after the 1-year mark things changed a bit. After the wedding, Kate and I didn't sleep together as often, but I would say we did it a couple times a week. Then I was busy trying to obtain a promotion at work, so I didn't think much of it. But after a year, I would be lucky to have her once a week, with her always claiming to be tired. She also stopped doing anything specifically for me and would focus more on Rose. For example, she always asked Rose what she wanted for dinner, but never me. If it was my turn to cook dinner, however, she always made great efforts to check if there was anything Rose didn't like and if I could change it. She also never really cared for date nights and insisted it was better to spend time together as a family. Rose being unavailable because of her own plan was practically the only times I got to go on a date with Kate. A few days ago, I was supposed to be on an international call in my home office, but the call finished early and I was just reading quietly in there. I overheard Rose and Kate talking about whether Kate and I would have a child. Kate laughed and said no, as she and I never really talked about it. Rose said she would not mind a younger sibling, but this way was good as well, so Kate could be just her mom and not have to spend time looking after other kids. Kate said, "Darling, no matter what, you will always be my number one. You were my only reason for marrying your father, you know." Rose laughed a little and they changed the subject. I know they could just be joking, but to me it all made sense. Kate came on to me simply because I was Rose's father. Now that she has Rose as her daughter, I just run out of use, I guess. Kate is willing to treat me with courtesy and maintain our relationship to save face, but nothing more. I love Kate. It's different than my love for Eve, but I could see us growing old together and maybe a couple more kids. I keep telling myself they were just joking around, but the fact that my wife could actually mean those words just make me cold all over.
Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to my channel with the notification bell on for juicy stories every day. Thanks.